I was thinking about this yesterday. I said I was in New York and driving back. We're in my wife's car, and it's a Hyundai, but it's fixed up with all of the signals. If someone's coming on your left, you hear a beep, and if you're too close, you hear a beep, and if you turn the lane without signaling, and then meanwhile, and again, I don't use GPS, but she does, and so we were traveling with GPS to try to get out of New York, and I suddenly realized I'm not doing anything. I'm not in the world. I'm obeying the beeps, and I'm obeying the voice and watching the arrow. So what's that about? It's a small thing, but there are many things of that ilk. Whether it's getting your groceries delivered
Put you on autopilot.
Yeah, whatever. It's just the friction. I have written about that a little bit, but even the difference between, and again, that's why I see myself as a kind of cusp age group, because I had maybe 30 years on one side and the remainder on the other so far. So I can remember, going to the bank and standing in line and all those things that I now have been apped out or are about to be, parking, around the block 100 times, whereas now apparently just tells you where to go, where there's a free, all of that's about friction, and I think friction is integral to feeling our boundaries, where we stop and the world picks up. But when there aren't those, everything's just kind of loopy and fluid with very little demarcation. It's actually hard to get that grip, this is me. And so I always have the fantasy of what happens to your basic modern 21st century citizen who suddenly has to spend a couple days in the woods out of range of any of this stuff. I think the silence is scary. I think it gets scary. I think people, it's not that they're scared of anything out there, it's they're scared of the what do I do now-ness. And, they're scared of the fact that suddenly it's just them.